Nice, the intro. Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here. I see a few of you are piling in. Nice to have you. Before we begin, I want to invite you to settle your body just a little. You may have been running all day, you came in, cooked, whatever you did. Just settle a little. You don't need to change anything, but just notice. Notice where you're sitting, notice your breath. Notice that for the next little while, nothing is required of you. You're my guest. I want you to sit, be beautiful, and relax. Today, we're starting a self care series, but not the kind of self care that makes you feel like there's another thing that you have to do well, another thing to put on your to do list. This series is all about caring for ourselves when care in the past from our caregivers or parents was inconsistent or conditional. If you give me this, I'll give you this, or absent altogether. So may many have asked me, we did a whole series on grieving our parents, caring the parents that we didn't have. They gave us the best that they could with what they had, but it wasn't enough for us, right? To satisfy our emotional, physical, mental needs, right? So a lot of people after that series said, but Karen, how do I grieve when I have a life to live? I can't just stop. Some people say, if I go down that rabbit hole, I'll be a hot mess. But I'm here to tell you, you will not fall apart as you grieve. Why? Because you're strong. You're capable of compartmentalizing things. Think of it. The things that happened in your childhood have followed you to today. You're still functioning. You get the job done. You have your posts on social media. You're smiling and laughing with your friends, right? You have not fallen apart despite the trauma that you have experienced. So you can do it. And now that trauma, now we're actually grieving it, processing it so that we can let it go. We won't forget it, but it won't have that weight on us, carrying those heavy bricks like we've been so used to carrying. So imagine all the selfies that you're doing now, and you're on vacation on the beach, and you're on cruises, and you're out to dinner with your friends, and you're doing all kind of things with the bricks. Can you imagine how you'll feel once you process? You can't just skip over it. Process, grieve, and let it go. Oh, it's going to be so good. So today we're starting with self care, the habit of sleep, good sleep habits. But for so many of us, sleep is not like a neutral thing. It's where the noise gets louder, it's where the grief shows up, it's where the body remembers what the mind tries to move past. Like, that's back then, that's 20, that's 30 years ago. I don't, but it affects us. And that's where, all the stuff comes up and our sleep is affected. So we're going to talk about how to support ourselves during this grieving process. Or maybe you've done the grieving process, you're on the path of letting it go, but we want to boost ourselves. Like when we take vitamins to boost our immune system, help us fight germs and viruses and bacteria. This self care series is to boost us up. So even while we're in the grieving process or as we're letting it go, we have that support that we need. And the beautiful thing is that we're going to give it to ourselves. Okay. So we're talking about a sleep because it's an act of self care while we grieve the parent we never had. Meanwhile, if you are new here, hi, my name is Karen Marinez. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm an emotional wellness coach, and I help women to heal their inner child and find peace. In order to feel really good in the present, we have to go back. We got to go back to where it all began in our childhood. But I hold your hand as we look. We're not going back to stay there. We're just looking back to get a glimpse of what happened to you and how it affects you even today. So if you're here, say hi in the chat, please. I'd love to see that you're here because that's the only way I know you're here is if you get in the chat. Okay. And if you're on the couch, I always say it. I know some of y'all like, I ain't paying Karen no mind. If you could just grab your phone and just say hi in the chat, I would appreciate it. And for those watching the replay, drop us a note in the chat. I'd love to know that you were here. Okay. If you cannot, if you find that you're trying to get in and say a comment and you can't, it's because you need to subscribe. So please subscribe to the channel, wait about a minute, and then jump in. Okay, it's going to be a nice interactive conversation and we're going to have a good time. All right. So, why is sleep so hard when you're grieving? It's because for many people, nighttime is the most vulnerable time of the day. You think about it. During the day, there are distractions, responsibilities, people to take care of, roles to perform, jobs to get to. We're busy. So the brain can just kind of thwart off those passing thoughts. But at nighttime, when the lights are off and the world gets quiet, that's often when the unmet needs speak the loudest. If you didn't have a parent that consistently soothed you, noticed your exhaustion, helped your body feel safe enough to rest, then your nervous system may have learned early on, I have to stay alert. I only have me. I have to protect myself. So it's not because you're being dramatic. It's not because you were difficult, but because there was no one else who was watching over you. So if you struggle with sleep, I want you to hear this clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. It's that your body adapted to the circumstances. Okay. Before I go on, let's just say hi. But Priscilla, hey. My dear Elvin in the back. Sheila, hello. Cynthia, reignite your radiance. Hey, girl. Sheila liked the music too, right? Isn't it nice? It's a hi, my love. You like it too? Yes. Buen trabajo con la música, Alejandro, dice it's. Candida dice buenas noches. Great emotional health coaching on Mondays with our talented coach Karen. The best. Thank you, my love. One of my biggest fans. I love you, Tip. Hey. Oh, Sheila. Yes. She says, I can't wait to see what that feels like to let go. And we got Dr. Jesso in the house. Yay. Hey. Hola. Alejandro is appreciating the compliments. He's sending hearts in the message. Okay. So, sleep is a nervous system experience. We've been talking about our nervous system. It's not something that we often think about, but it's there and it regulates our body. When our nervous system is rattled, we're rattled and agitated. When our nervous system is calm and regulated, ooh, life is good. It feels good on the inside. So we often talk about sleep like it's a discipline issue. Go to bed early, put your phone away, take it outside the room, which is a good habit. Try harder. We go to the doctor, they say, how often, how much do you sleep? You say 2 to 3 hours. They say, what? You got to do better. You got to try this, try that, right? But sleep isn't something that you can force. It's something your body allows when it feels safe. And that's so important to understand. We have to feel safe. Why do we grab a baby? Change them, bathe them, change them, put their fresh pampering clothes on, swaddle them, and then feed them because that's or even just hold them and then when we're rocking them to sleep, right, we don't put them over here and just let them cry. We pull them to us. Why? Because that helps them to feel safe. So it's the same thing when we go to sleep. We're telling our body, let all defenses go and knock out. But how can you do that if you're nervous and you want to keep at least one eye open? Right? So it's your body allowing you to sleep when it feels safe. So that's the key. We need to make that, we need to work to help the body feel safe. And grief, especially the grief of not having a parent that you needed that satisfy our needs, lives in the nervous system. When that adult that, or adults, those adults that we look to for protection and safety and love, were not available to do that, all we had was ourselves. So grief asks questions like this: who's holding me? Who's watching over me? What happens if I finally rest? And for many people, rest once meant vulnerability without protection. For many, a lot of things happened at home at nighttime when the lights went out. very bad things happen. So it's really like I have to be on high alert. So the body, what does it do? It stays awake. It's not trying to punish you. It's trying to protect you. Isn't that sweet though? You can so the next time you're like this at 2 a.m., don't get mad at her. Say, thank you. You're trying to protect me. I appreciate it. That she's doing what she was programmed to do. Protect you. So sleep struggles aren't a failure of self-care. They're a sign that your body learned to survive. And I want you to be able to look at yourself with more compassion as well. Not like, I can't sleep. This is horrible. Think about why. When did you not feel protected? And learned, I can't leave myself feeling vulnerable. I got to protect myself. Okay? So there's a particular kind of grief that shows up at night, and it's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, but it's heavy. It can be very lonely. And it's the grief of not being tucked in emotionally, not being comforted when you were scared. We're looking back at we're just taking a quick look at the past, not having someone say, okay, you can rest now, I got you. Because the sweetest feeling a child could feel is that if mommy and daddy or one or the other is in my presence, I'm good. I love seeing kids on daddy's shoulder, walking around in the city, at an amusement park. They are literally on top of the world. My Superman has me up here. A dog can't get me, a human. I'm looking down on everybody else, and you see their face. It is pure joy and protection. Daddy's got me. Or a child with the daddy that's really holding their hand. All is well in my world. I'm good because my daddy is Superman. Or my mom, don't mess with me. My mother get you, right? That's what we all deserve. Or parents, when you walk through the door, just with a look, they say, what happened to, how was your day? They know you're not well, but if the parent is totally distracted with their own stuff, and they don't even realize you came in, or they see you and it's like, hi, and they, you're on your own. You cannot rely on that parent. So some of us learn to fall asleep by disassociating, totally putting that like, oh, that happened to somebody else. That happens in another household. It doesn't, that's not my story. Some learn to stay awake. Some learn to self-soothe too early. And now as adults, bedtime becomes like a mirror. It shows us what we did not receive. This is a very interesting concept. Bedtime can help us to become aware of what we did not receive when we were children. If sadness comes up at night, it doesn't mean that you're regressing. It means you're touching something honest. You're there. You're there. You're looking back. It's like, oh, you're grieving something real. Or it could be that I had a client one time, her mom worked nights and they were left home alone, right? That's scary for young children. You hear all the noises in the apartment or the house at night, the refrigerator, everything. And when you don't have an adult there to protect you, that's scary. That's unsafe. So, of course, insomnia, staying awake would be in her life, right? So, how do we reparent ourselves through rest? How do we use sleep or rest as self-care? It's not necessarily perfect sleep. It's not necessarily 8 uninterrupted hours, even though that's the goal, of course, but it's kind rest. Reparenting yourself at night might sound like this. You have to tell yourself, you don't have to solve anything tonight. Because, right, you lay down, the same thing happens to me. I lay down and all these thoughts, right? Or we could say, you're allowed to be tired. Do you know how many women I talk to? They would never admit that they're tired or exhausted because to them it's like failure, it's weakness. No, you're human. You work hard, you live a life, and you're tired. There's nothing wrong with that. But somewhere in our family, in our growing up, the message was you're not allowed to rest. You're not allowed to be tired. What you got to be tired for? And another thing we could say is, I'm here with you. So it's basically giving ourselves permission to be human, to truly rest our minds. And for those that have the mind just goes and goes, you have to keep redirecting, you have to keep reassuring, saying, you're allowed to be tired. I'm here with you. It's okay. You're not. I got you. We're okay. The doors are locked. We're safe. We have to talk to ourselves as we reparent ourselves. And especially when that mind is all over the place with the parents, and maybe we're married and we have in-law issues, or the day at work and the project I have to do to by the and have ready by the end of the week, and our brain just starts going and go, oh, we're worried about grandchildren or nieces and nephews, or this one is sick and that. Then we really have to say, you don't have to solve anything tonight. It's okay to rest. And we reassure ourselves like that. And it might look like this, creating a bedtime ritual, not necessarily to optimize sleep, because it takes time for your body to feel like, okay, I'm safe enough to rest, right? But to signal care. Why is that such a beautiful thing when children get tucked in? Children that are regularly tucked in wait for that. When children have a regular bedtime ritual, and if they're blessed to have both parents come in, read a book, maybe pray with them, there's a ritual that their parents, and they both kiss, and then tuck, or some parents split it up. You do the boy, I got the girl. Whatever the thing, kids will wait up. They'll be sitting up in the bed, falling asleep. Ma, I'm ready to go to sleep. Come, you're gonna tuck me in? Yeah, baby, I'm coming. And once they get tucked in, it's like it signals, all right, you're safe, you're good. Go to sleep, baby. So that's what our bedtime ritual is to do. It may be a long shower, a bubble bath, soft music. Um, I got this thing when my nephew comes over, and I like it too. And it's like a little projector. It's like the size of my hand. You plug it in, and it puts stars and lights. It's in one of my vlogs. Um, and he just loves it, and it just makes it so sad. It has stars, and it's like the aurora going. It's very relaxing. Whatever you want to do, it could be reading a book, a paper book. Create a bedtime ritual that is saying to yourself, not, we got to get to sleep. No, 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 no. We don't treat ourselves harshly like that. But you're safe and cared for. Isn't that a beautiful thought? I love that, seeing the bedtime ritual as a sign of caring for ourselves, safety, because sleep is really being vulnerable. You're totally knocked out. That's complete vulnerability. So another thing we can do is letting ourselves go to bed earlier. Notice this, without earning it. I have clients that say, I can't get into bed, Karen, until everything is just so. But what if just so takes you till midnight? Just so takes you to 11:30 at night. Just so is 1 a.m. I got to do this. I do. The doers, they can't sleep unless it's done. But you don't have to earn that. Get in the bed earlier. If that's really important to you, then start earlier. And not everything has to be done, right? It doesn't all have to be. We could give ourselves some slack. Not that we're going to live like slobs. Order is very important in our homes. But you know, the perfectionists in some of us, we could take it to another level. Or we start a project and it keeps us going, and we have to finish it. It can, but let's do the project in parts. We want to get into bed get into bed earlier without earning it. I just want to get into bed earlier. I deserve that. Give yourself permission to just rest and give yourself extra time. Also speak to your body with patience instead of frustration. Because we can, eyes wide open at 2 a.m., that is frustrating when you have to get up at 6. And we could become very frustrated with ourselves. But now that we're seeing the bigger picture, can't we be a little more compassionate? Can't we be a little more patient with our bodies? Our body has been protecting us all these years. Now we're going to turn on her and be frustrated. She doesn't deserve that, right? So let's think of sleep less as a task and more as a relationship. a relationship with your body, a relationship with safety, with trust. And we know in any relationship, how fast does trust grow fast? No, it grows slowly. Patient. Time. Give yourself time. All right. Anything resonating with you? How does that sound? So here's another gentle invitation for nighttime. Instead of tips, I want to offer invitations. All right. And you could take whichever fits and then leave the rest. You don't have to do it all. So tonight, I want you to say in the chat, when something sounds good, I have 4 options. I want 4 invitations. I want you to say in the chat what you think you might try. Placing a hand on your chest or on your stomach and staying there for a few breaths. That deep belly breathing. I have a video on it. It's so important because deep belly breathing pulls from the diaphragm and it oxygenates the entire body. We need oxygen. And sometimes we're stuck in fight or flight or we're super anxious, but the oxygen will, you talk about recalibrating, recentering, calming down a nervous system, that deep belly breathing. But it takes time because I remember, and I'm a singer, I sing, I'm singing from my diaphragm all the time, but to actually do the deep belly breathing, when I started this process some years ago, it was like, okay. And I would try, but it would be my chest. And then it took me time to get my belly. So I would say put on both and then try the deep belly breathing. Another thing is whispering a phrase to yourself like, you're safe enough right now. And you're an adult now, so it's different. You're in control of the safety in your home, more than likely. So you're safe right now. Whisper it. Another thing is letting yourself rest even if sleep doesn't come. So sometimes we're so focused on sleep that we don't even allow our bodies to rest. But I've said it too, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes I'm really wound up. I want to take a nap during the day. And my mind, I got so much going on in my mind um, that I can't fall asleep, but all right, then I'll just lay here though and rest. And it still feels good. Instead of a 20-minute knockout nap, which I love, I'll have a 20-minute rest. And it's just slowing it down, laying on the couch, laying on my bed, just resting. So we can try to do that. If you can't get the sleep, let's try to at least rest, because when you get frustrated and you're angry at yourself because you can't sleep, now you're like tossing and turning because your body's agitated. But rest is, right? That's our aim. If we can't get the sleep right now, because trust takes time, at least rest. And also allowing grief to be present without fixing it. It's okay. We're going to talk about that. It's okay to feel sad. It's it's okay. We're grieving. Whatever it is, we're grieving. So you don't need to sleep well right now. You just need to rest kindly. Remember, kind rest. Even laying down is an act of self-care. Isn't that a beautiful thought? So which of those 4 do you think you'd like to try? I'll review. Place a hand on your chest or stomach. Stay there for a few breaths. That can also tell you, it helps you with mindfulness to be in the present, because we lay down and our brain is all the way in the future, tomorrow what I have to do and all of that. And just a practical sidebar, right? Get up and write all that stuff down. Make a to-do list for tomorrow, so you don't have to keep your mind going, I don't want to forget, I got to get this from the market and I got to do this for my boss. Just write it down. It helps tremendously. Sometimes I'm laying down and I start with that and I get up and I'll just write it down, or I'll put it in my phone on the notes. Now I don't have to press my brain to remember. It's there. Or I'm famous for alarms on my cell phone. I set alarms to remind me for tomorrow. That's it. Now it's done. Now, okay, now let's go back to rest. Okay. Place a hand on your chest or stomach with deep breaths. Whisper the phrase, you're safe enough right now. Also, letting yourself rest even if you cannot sleep, and allowing grief to be present without fixing it, because we can become, with grief can come anger, and that anger can get us wound up, right? So I can be sad, I don't have to fix it now. People acting up, not doing what they're supposed to do. This, we don't have to solve the problems of the world or in our home, our house. This is our time. It's our time to rest. Okay, let's see some of the comments. Deep belly breathing. Sheila says she's going to place her hand on the stomach, concentrate on breathing. Also redirect negative thinking to positive whispers. I love that. And Dr. Just so whisper, you're safe now. Yes. Oh, good things. We're doing for ourselves what our parents did not. We're providing safety where our parents could not do that. They probably didn't even see how important it was. And someone else, I'm trying not to say your names, I'm sorry, I get excited. TB says, I would like to focus on rest, not so much on sleep. Now, and then the sleep will come. Okay? All right. Let's reframe self care. Self care is not always soothing. And sometimes it's allowing yourself to feel the ache. Here we go. Very uncomfortable. The ache of what was not, what didn't happen. And we want to run past the ache because we don't want to remember that. We'd rather just forget it like it didn't happen. But guess what? The body doesn't forget. And that's why you're at night. You can't sleep. You're trying to forget it. The body's like, but I don't feel safe because we haven't addressed this. Have you ever had, I'm sure all of us have had a disagreement with someone. It goes bad. And you're expecting the other person was really wrong. They said things that were really inappropriate. They were hurtful. And it would really be better if they would just apologize, right? Like, we're not talking about parents because we discussed that when they're not going to apologize, how we handle that. If you didn't see that episode, please go back and watch that another time. You'll really enjoy it. But just a spouse or a friend or your boss, like he yelled at you and you're like, an apology would really be good. It's because it's them acknowledging that they did something inappropriate. They said something off that wasn't loving and all that stuff. That's what our body wants. The body's like, we can't go back and change it, but I need you to acknowledge what happened to us. And the more you try to push it back, the body screams and yells, I don't feel safe with you. You won't even acknowledge what happened. How am I supposed to fall asleep? Right? So we have to learn to feel comfortable with emotional pain. It's there anyway. At least let's acknowledge it. But we have to sit and feel it. But processing it, learning how to deal with it. We're not just going to look at it. We look at it from the different angles and try to figure out where this came from, why I feel this, who did this, how does it affect me today? All those things that we talk about every Monday night. But sometimes it's stopping that inner voice that says, here it goes, you should be over this by now. That happened 30 years ago. We do this also. You still thinking about that because that's what the parent may say or the neighbor might say, well, whoever the thing happened with. But don't rush your process. This is your process. Don't do that to yourself. Other people could say it. You still thinking about that? I forgot about that. Yeah, you forgot about it, but I remember it. Don't do that to yourself. You can make sleep like your quiet protest against all the things that happened or didn't happen, the love and attention you did not receive. It's a refusal to keep proving your worth through exhaustion. We don't need, and can we talk about exhaustion? Can we try not to get to that point of exhaustion? Exhaustion is like way over here. Tired is here. Can we stay? Can we be like here with tired and not push ourselves so much that we come home? I remember that being exhausted. My to-do list on a daily basis was out before doing this work was out of control. Doing not the coaching, doing this work for me, processing my trauma, my pain. It was out of control. And I felt mm, like a mega woman when I got everything done. Now looking back, of course I was younger, but still it's like by the time I would fall into the bed, pure exhaustion. Can we not do that to ourselves? It's not necessary. It's not loving. It's not kind to ourselves and even to those around us. Because when you're exhausted, you're not the nicest person, right? Let's try to lean more to when we feel we're going past tired, just stop and get in bed. Protest. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to take care of myself and rest. Get your book. Listen to some music. Do what you want, but get in the bed. Can we start protesting? Have our quiet protest. It's not a good feeling to be exhausted. That's a whole other thing. Okay, but I just had to say that. And each night that you choose rest, you know what you're slowly teaching your body? I'm cared for now. And I'm the one who's giving it to myself. We're good. I'm here for you, baby. I got you, girl. We good. All right. So as we close, I want you to I want to offer this reflection for you. You did not fail because you needed rest. You did not fail because you struggled alone. You adapted. As a child, you could not rest. You struggled alone, right? So you had to adapt. And that's why many of us cannot sleep. But now you're learning something new. So every time you choose to lie down, we're going to view it as softening. Stop pushing past our limits. We don't have to do that anymore. I want you to say this. This is what you're saying to your body when you say, ooh, I feel the tired. I'm over here. I'm approaching tired. All right, okay, I'm here. I'm not going all the way over there. You're saying, I matter. You're saying, my body matters. You're saying, my grief matters. Because here's the thing, a lot of times we push ourselves to exhaustion because we don't want to think about the things that we're grieving. But I'm promising you, you don't have to run from it. You are safe and you're capable of handling the grief. So when we get into bed a little earlier to rest, and you may feel that ache and your brain starts going back to the past, it's okay, but we're not going to stay there. We're going to think about, what do I learn from that? Who do I want to be? How do I want to be different? What they did to me, was it my issue or theirs? That was mommy's issue. She didn't have a good childhood. She was just throwing that misery and negativity on me, but it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. That was her thing. And it just got pushed onto me. So I've walked around feeling powerless and useless and unworthy all these years because of her thing. Look at that, I got it. I do matter. I need to work on my self-esteem because I am a beautiful person. I'm capable. I'm smart. And you can start journaling about that and empower yourself and realize that stuff is mom's, has nothing to do with me. Of course, the way she treated me affects me, but it's because of her stuff, not because I was worthless. Sometimes parents have told their children that. Other times it's just the way they treated you that you feel worthless. And then we work in whatever way, sometimes on the job, sometimes being very, service oriented to people, to neighbors, to our friends, because we don't feel like we have any value. So I have to buy my value. But you don't. Push that stuff right back onto them. This is just an example. So again, you may have not received the care you needed, but you're learning how to offer it now to yourself. And that matters more than perfection ever could. You may be at the point where you can't get 8 hours, your body won't allow you to get 8 hours of sleep right now, but you could get 7.5 hours of rest, right? And someone mentioned that redirecting negative thoughts to positive whispers. Yeah, our brain is programmed to go, we got to bring it back. Don't let the brain just do what she wants to do. Oh no, we're the boss here. We got to take control. And she wants to, we got to bring her back. Or you feel her agitated over something that happened. You say, okay, I understand why you're upset, but it's 10 o'clock. We're not dealing with that right now. We'll deal with that tomorrow. I'll journal about that first thing in the morning, but also, yeah, it was horrible, but I'm not going to let that ruin who I am today. I'm not going to follow that bad example. My mom used to fly off the handle all the time. I'm not, I do the same thing. I'm going to stop. For the next 10 days, I'm going to try not to do that. Yeah, we can make a difference. All right, let me see. CL says, I got used to holding my breath when I get nervous since childhood. Isn't that something? So, yes, I need to learn to keep breathing. It's amazing. Fight or flight. Yeah, the body's in shock, paralyzed. Just play dead. Yeah, that's what we do. And CL says, part of the reason why my blood pressure goes up. Yeah, hand on chest, deep breathing. Yeah, nice. So that's all loving self-care. All right. So I'm going to pause from that and we're going to talk about my segment on Ask Karen, Ask Coach Karen. I received an email from a viewer. She said, something tragic happened with me. It occurred from a Wednesday night into a Thursday. Since that time, I have not been able to get a good night's rest on Wednesdays. Isn't that something? She said, could you take a few minutes to talk about sleep when something tragic happens in our lives? So that's another thing. I've talked about it before. When I do wake up in the middle of the night, it's usually between 3 and 4. And I was in a Vimes class, and it was brought to my attention that something traumatic happened to you between 3 and 4. And I was like, huh, my dad. When we got the call that he was going into cardiac arrest, that it was around that time from the hospital. We got dressed real quick, ran up there, and he passed away some days later. So when we're just going through stuff, we're not paying attention to the time, the day. She's aware that it happened. It was so traumatic. It happened on a Wednesday night. So now Wednesdays, her body is on full alert. Isn't that something? Trauma, it causes sleep disturbances, and one of the things is it triggers a state of heightened psychological arousal. They call it hyperarousal. It floods the brain with stress neurochemicals like adrenaline. Look at that. That's why we were able to jump up. We got the call, right? We're able to think and get things done, dress in the car to the hospital. That adrenaline was flowing. In her case, this traumatic event, she hears this awful, horrible news. The adrenaline. It's a survival response, but it makes it very difficult to relax and fall asleep, because again, when you're hyper aroused, right, and it causes you to become vigilant. The brain stays on high alert. It's anticipating danger. It prevents the body from transitioning into a restful state. So, with good reason, she has restlessness, can't sleep, because the body's like, it's Wednesday. And we were here another Wednesday some months back, and something horrible happened. Every Wednesday, we have to be on high alert. The body is made to protect us, but the body keeps score. And it's so good that she made that connection. So, to that viewer and anyone else that's going through something like this, if you do wake up at a certain time, you might want to think about it. There's also studies of certain times of the night, then it shows your body's cleansing your liver or this or that. But a lot of times it's something traumatic that happened at that time during the night. And it could be 20, 30 years ago. In her case, it was just last year. But it's painful. And we want to sleep. So one thing I would suggest is Wednesdays, from the morning to the night, extra special things for you. Please, extra special, whatever it is. Your body wants to be on high alert at night. You're going to be hyper vigilant about extra self-care, extra love, extra sweetness, down to the way you shower, get an extra scrub, lotion your body. I don't know, a special lipstick, whatever. Do your perfume, special activities, whatever you love to do, try to incorporate it on Wednesdays because you matter. You're important. This very tragic thing did happen and it's awful. However, you're still standing. You're here. You're loving, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. So treat yourself like that. And others may not appreciate us like that, but you will. And now that you know that Wednesdays are difficult, you go to bed a little extra early, you curl up with a book or you listen to your music and you realize, all right, you don't, we're safe. Look, we good. But if you don't feel safe enough, it's okay. We are safe. But if she's still like, no, the body, I'm not going to go to sleep. I need to be super vigilant. Okay. So we're just going to lay here and rest. All right. No problem. Mm. And you just rock with her. All right. Because Wednesdays into Thursday, yeah. And maybe Wednesday during the day, you take a nap to make up for the sleep you're not going to get during the nighttime. And be sweet and kind to her and keep reassuring her we're safe, we're good. That happened, but we're okay. Look, we're still, you know, but definitely Wednesday should become a big deal in your schedule. All right. And let me know how it goes. Okay. So I appreciate you all for being here. Next time, we're going to continue the self-care series by exploring another aspect, another way that we nourish ourselves after long emotional neglect. But until then, rest gently because you deserve it. So I don't want to leave yet. I want to talk about last week. I talked a lot. I would like to talk about self-care for the month of February. I would like for you to put in the chat some way you want to show self-care to yourself outside of sleep or including sleep. So I'll tell you mine while you think of yours and put it in the chat, okay? Oh, Sheila said, is it over already? Not yet, Sheila. Thank you for being here and wanting more. Okay, let's talk about self-care for this month. So I'm going to tell you some things Coach Karen's doing for herself to nurture me, to especially it's hibernation time. The weekend here in New York City, the real feel was below 18 on Saturday morning, negative 18 on Saturday. I mean, it was freezing. I was out Saturday doing stuff and my fingertips, like I could be out for a minute and it's cold. So anyway, I'm in hibernation season anyway. But for some of you that are in lovely Arizona with the beautiful weather, even Florida has been a little chilly, right? But let's use February to hone in on some self-care habits. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and you tell me what you would like to do. All right. Um, okay. So my new self-care habit is reading novels. Oh, I almost forgot how much I loved reading back in the day. Like in my 20s, I would read all the time. But 30s, 40s, and now in my 50s have been pretty tumultuous. A lot of things going on, caring for this one, that my parents, every just stuff, right? And my brain it was not able to sit and focus on a book when I started doing these emotional wellness classes during 2020. I remember we were talking about goals, and that was one of my goals. I want to get back into reading again, but it still hadn't happened until last year. Like, woo! And this year, now I'm being intentional about it. I think I told you guys, I said I had read 4 books in January. Then I look when I'm writing a list, I read 5 books in January. It's like, yay! And I'm able to, because I have clients that say, they stop in the middle of their, and they say, Karen, how do you do this? How do you like? I'm not the only, like, we come on and we cry with you and we tell you all this traumatic stuff. How do you handle it? I have to take extra good care of myself, and one way is to be, when I get into a novel, a book, because I used to read. So then I started reading psychological stuff, The Body Keeps Score, this, that, all kind of stuff about anxiety. But that's learning. But now I'm reading just just to escape. It lets my mind go. I'm totally there, and I'm visualizing everything. And sometimes I'm laughing, sometimes I'm crying, and sometimes like, and I have to cover this side of the book because my eyes want to go over here to see what's going to happen. But I'm like, no, you got to finish it. So I'm totally absorbed. So that's my biggest self-care thing now. And I want to see how many books I can read each month. Okay. So so far I read one this month already, and I'm on to my second one. So reading novels, another thing, my self-care, I'm like, Karen, you gotta move this body. Exercise. So that's my goal, 5 times a week. Get in there, do something that I enjoy. YouTube has a plethora of things. I used to be a part of this group that's on Zoom. It's phenomenal. Every morning at 7 or 8. But I'm like, I don't want to exercise that early if I don't have to. So I do it when I want, and find people that I like, and whatever it is, walking or cardio, whatever, Pilates, but I'm doing it, okay? And then caring for myself by eating good food and cooking more at home. I started that last year. I lost some weight. I'm working with a nutritionist, nourishing my body, cooking my own food, caring for myself, Coach Karen never, Karen Martinez never took food to work, rarely out and about, snacks and stuff, that wasn't me. But now I feel naked when I don't have my lunch bag. Everywhere I go, I have my lunch bag, and it feels so good. Acupuncture. I did it years ago, 2020, because I did something to my shoulder. And I had tried everything. Then they started wanting, the doctor's like, I'm gonna have to send you to an orthopedic surgeon. I'm like, I don't want nobody cutting on me. So a friend of mine had told me about acupuncture. I tried it. He never even looked at my shoulder. He's like, it's your heart. Your heart isn't strong enough. And he went into this whole thing. And I'm like, you're not gonna look at I couldn't lift my arm more than this. Now, once I got it, it was, and I mean pain like I have never experienced in my life. He fixed me with the acupuncture. And then I never went back. That was 2020. And so I've been taking my mom. She's been doing better. My husband, because he had this horrible cough, blah, blah, he's getting better. And I was like, I need to come. She was like, you should come for balance. And I did my first treatment on Saturday morning. That's why I was out. And when I tell you, it was amazing. It felt so good. And it's so relaxing. And when she sat me up, I was like this. I was trying to open my eyes, and she was just laughing because she's telling me stuff, and I'm like, like what? It was amazing. So those are things that I want to do for them, continue to do for February and on, but like really hone in, especially on nourishing my body, moving my body, and care. And I do chiropractic care twice a month as well. All right. Oh, Magalina is here. Hey, Chica. I've started taking naps without feeling guilty. I love that. And that's part of my, yes. I didn't write it. I didn't say it, but yeah, naps is also a part of my routine. And love reading novels to get all my emotions out through, right? You laugh, you cry. I don't care where I am. I'd be on the train crying. And I'm like, the New Yorkers don't look or care anyway. We're very anonymous around here. So it's all right. But even if they did, I wouldn't care. I'm in my book, right? Um, Reignite Your Ray says, once the weather gets a little warmer, I'm going to do more nurturing in nature. Sounds good. But can you tell me what you're going to do before it gets warm? Reignite Your Radiance? Because we got to do it now, girlfriend. Sheila says, and I'm sorry, SG says, get a massage to loosen my super tight muscles. I like the idea of reading a physical book also. So hard to concentrate because of racing thoughts. I'm going to take baby steps. I totally understand. Oh, are we having an issue with are we having a problem? Okay, I don't think so. All right. Yeah, the physical book is really, I saw my thing going like this. I don't know if you all see that, but anyway, maybe it's the connection, but I'll just keep talking. Okay. Yes, the physical book, and it takes time, SG. But I'm trying not to say people's names to protect your privacy, but boy, is it worth it. Okay. Um, what else? And the massage sounds amazing. RB says getting back to monthly massage and reading books again too. All right, so we're doing our reading around here. Nice. TB says, I'm truly trying. I've started back to reading books because I know you love books, daily walks, and I want to try acupuncture. Nice. Oh, Elvin says I'm good. Okay. I don't know why on my screen here with the YouTube, I was seeing scrolling. Thank you, E. I was going to yell out, but thank you. So we got some stuff going on. Good stuff. Time for ourselves. Even though you don't like needles. Yeah. Somebody said, does it hurt? It pricks. But oh, and then they have these heating bulbs. She doesn't say it, but the other acupuncturist that healed my shoulder, he said, okay, I'm gonna leave you to cook. So they put those, ooh, it's just amazing. And even my mom, like, so me and Elvin have to be in the room with her because the needles, and she kind of shakes in the way, and she doesn't know what's going on because she has dementia. So I'm on one end holding like her hands down, and he's on the other holding her feet down. And she, she wiggles and stuff. But after about 10, 15 minutes, she's out, knocked out. It's so relaxed. But she'll be like, ooh, when they prick her. But it's worth it. I try it and let me know how you like it. I really, and to be able to care for ourselves with integrative medicine and not necessarily all just Western medicine with pushing pills and things like that. If we could do some alternative things to boost our system, it's nice. Okay. Reignite Radiance came back. She said, I'm grounding in my backyard. Oh my goodness. Of course, she's a Floridian till I can go to the beach. I'll also start scheduling regular massages. That sounds awesome. Yeah, because the massages inside. I went for a massage with my cousin last week. Yeah, last Wednesday we went. It was a new place. We tried it out. And to me, the ultimate is, or the first sign of a good place is when you get on a table and it's warm. A heated table. I was like, oh, and of course it was like 10 degrees outside. I laid on that. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, it's good. It satisfies. If we're, physical touch is one of our love languages. It helps our circulation. It helps relax us. Again, sometimes we can go to sleep on a massage table. Like you wake yourself up snoring. Other times we can't sleep because our mind still might be going, but we feel rested, right? Because you're laying there and somebody's rubbing on you. Some people don't like it, but I enjoy that as well. Very nice. PJ says start flower seedlings with a grow light. That's nice. And to see them grow, that's awesome. RB says acupuncture is amazing. Asleep on the table every time. Girl, oh my goodness. SG says the acupuncture does prick, but after the treatment, yeah. Ooh, my body just felt whole. And like she said, balance. It was really good. And I look at it as preventative medicine as well. Preventative care, you know. CL says, even when it's cold outside, I enjoy going outside when the sun starts shining the brightest between 1 and 3. Take a short walk, look at the trees, the sky, birds flying by in my backyard, sing and pray. Go on, you. And you live in a very cold place. Good for you. That's beautiful. That maybe in the future I'll graduate to that because the cold, I'm just like, I go out only when necessary. But there are people, there was a student on my job, I remember years ago, and he was like, no, I go to the beach even I'm like, in the wintertime. What? He's like, he would dress up in like ski gear and he said it's therapeutic. I'm like, wow, thumbs up to you. I'm not a fan of the cold. Love the beach in the summertime here in New York, but yeah, but if you look, if you do it. And then you're going outside to your backyard, so then you can quickly come back in, which is awesome. And yeah, connecting with nature, it's a beautiful thing. Here's another thought, and I won't call you out, but one of my clients is here, and she almost choked when I suggested this. She's gonna laugh. I asked her, do you think you could take the rest of February off from attending to everyone else? She's a doer. This friend calls. Oh, this person needs soup. Oh, this person needs a ride. Whatever the thing, she's there. Lovely person. It's beautiful. But at the same time, she has things that she wants to do in her own life that she hasn't gotten to because she's so busy attending to everybody else. So I suggested to her, that was last week, and I said, you think you could take the next few weeks in February to say no, even to clear your schedule and not have extracurricular things, which are nice. Like I'm going to a Broadway show tomorrow with a friend, all that good stuff. But you just moved and you want to fix up your apartment and take stuff out of boxes, but you haven't done it because you're attending to everybody else. So that's another way of caring for ourselves, clearing our schedule. If it's not, I'm not saying don't care for our household and our children and our parents and our spouses, but when it's all this extra stuff that we're doing for the outside world, can we cut it just for a few weeks or try a week? And what about no rushing for the month of February? I used to rush. It was very important for me to be on time, like precisely at 1 o'clock if I had an appointment. And I love being on time, and I like coming through and being all that stuff. But if I need to be there at 1, I used to plan something at 12 as well, and then run from there and get that there at 1 minute to 1. But all that huffing and puffing and rushing and driving, and we're overstimulated. Again, now we trying to lay down, and now we trying to force ourselves to go to sleep. The body's like, wait a minute, you have me running all day, pushing me to exhaustion, but I'm wired. Sometimes we're wired up because we've done so much. Can we clear the calendar a bit? Can we space out our appointments, our things? If we're here at 10 and somewhere else, can we push that appointment till 2? Because we don't know how long these, and now we're like this. Can we slow it down? Can we stop the rushing? Please, can we try that as well? What do y'all think about that with the rushing? SG says, I enjoy the cooler weather too. It refreshes my mind. But of course, you live in Florida, so cooler is different from cold. But I love that for you. I'm not jealous. I'm not hating on you. That's good. Steve L says, I have a book on self-massage relaxing while listening to oldies music. That sounds awesome. That's a nice, nice way to spend your time. SG says, walking in the weather helps because that's when I walk. I don't overheat in the cooler weather, right? That makes sense. Yeah, because then in Florida, when it gets hot, it gets hot. CL says, want to learn to play the guitar better at 7 years young. Go girl. That sounds awesome. That's very wonderful. Music is so therapeutic. And Sheila is congratulating her. The name of the book, yes, for the self-massage. Reignite says, great idea. Let's make February a non-rush month. Yes. We we wreak havoc on our nervous systems when we're rushing around. We deserve better. Can we do better? Please. TB says, working on a calendar, sometimes looking at an empty calendar makes me feel I'm not doing enough. There we go. There it is. And your calendar, with just the basic things you have to do, TB, your calendar would never be empty. It's packed just with the basic things that you do. But yeah, being kind to yourself and allowing yourself to do less. Excuse me. Do less and still feel good enough. I know Elvin saying, would you stop talking and just drink your water? I have a lot to say. He's like, stop, just swallow, relax. His tears are coming. Okay. When it's sunny outside and well dressed, the cold is refreshing, the sun feels warm, just dress well. That's the key, right? Layering up. Yeah. I prefer a book snuggled up on my couch. When the spring comes, I'll be back out there. mm. Mm. I am excuse me. Something got in my throat. SG says, yes, self-care, Coach Karen. Yeah, I have to take care of myself, as we all do, right? So let's continue. Let's keep it up. In regards to self-care, I keep giving little teasers each week, but Uko is coming. That course is going to begin in March. I'm hoping March 1, that's the plan, and we'll have 30 days of working in our home to organize bedroom, even in our dresser drawers, dining room, living room, kitchen, bathroom, getting up under that cabinet. We send pictures to each other on the chat. It's very interactive, fun, encouraging. And like someone mentioned, it'll be the start of spring cleaning because organized home definitely helps our nervous system and helps us to rest more. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see is my nightstand. And if it has a lot of things on it, it rattles me. But when it's just clear, 2 or 3 things on there, oh, that just makes the mind just rest. It's beautiful. SG says, keep drinking your water if you need to. We can wait. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all are so kind and loving and wonderful. If you are not on my chat, join the WhatsApp group and you'll keep up with what I'm up to, the next live, the topic. I'm going to start posting information for the UCO class so you can sign up. If you've done it before, you just join in. We're going to have a good time. And it's low. It's a low vibe. It's a calm vibe. It's not like, all right, no, it's just, and it's not pulling everything out of the closet all at once and then having a big mess and we get all overwhelmed. It's all about self-care and wellness. So it's not meant to overwhelm us at all. All right, we have been on an hour. I have enjoyed this time with you. I was looking forward to it all day. You wonderful people have a wonderful evening. What else? I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. And let's keep with our goals. If you're watching this on a replay, put in the chat, in the messages, the comment section, what you would like to work on as far as self-care. And if you have a question for Coach Karen, feel free to email me at karenmcoach@gmail.com. It'll be down in the show notes. It'll be right there. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok as well. I put shorts there. I do YouTube shorts. So we just, doing all the things. All right. Love you all so much. Be well, be kind to yourself. Sweet, understanding, compassionate. We're going to do rest. If we can't get the sleep, let's at least try the rest. Did y'all see my chat GPT? I'm looking at my grays. And somebody said, girl, just embrace the grays. And I try. They behave. I just wash my hair. But it's funny. You see, I don't have a lot of grays. I inherited that from my mom. Some people think I color my hair and that these grays are popping out, but I don't color my hair. It's just all me and my siblings, we get it from my mom. We're black hair, but we have some grays streaming through. So it was funny that ChatGPT got all that. All right, my loves, be well. Good hugs, big hugs, and sleep well or rest well. And I'll see you soon. Bye.
If you're watching this video, it is because you're looking to make changes and create order in your environment, which is a reflection of how orderly your cranial universe is. Yes, your wonderful brain is asking for a change. When we created this workshop called UCO with 4 masterclasses for full activation, the first thing I did was to put it in practice in my life. Here in Vimes, everything that we teach is effectively tested, and in my case, the results were amazing. The truth is that when your brain is organized, everything around you becomes organized. As explained by Tao Rivallo, a psychologist who specialized in cognitive behavioral therapy, cleanliness and order greatly influence our mental health. Human beings tend to always search for a balance, both internally and externally, and that has to do with our environment. If we look around, everything requires order, even in nature. So we're programmed for that order. I've experienced enormous changes in my life by applying certain things. I thought I was a very organized person, but the truth was I didn't realize I was rigid. So the question arises, what is the difference between being orderly and being rigid? Well, our health helps us to answer that question. If to keep your environment clean and beautiful and your life in order with an agenda and a good schedule, you end up with body pain, pain in your back, a tense neck, I assure you that you are rigid. You're not enjoying the process of being organized. This is a sign that enters your brain, and the brain then sends that message to your beautiful body. And there go the aches and pains. On the contrary, if you enjoy doing what you're doing while you're doing your chores, you fulfill your daily goals, you start by writing them down without spending a whole lot of time on it and no stress, then it means you're doing it really well. You're relaxed and your body's like, this is good. It tells you when you finish your task to even applaud yourself and say, job well done. Now rest. That was my case. And then that was of the first participants as well, their experience of the Masterclass UCO, which is short for Organized Cranial Universe. From rigidity when organizing their environment and their life in general, they discovered that flexibility is the key, and they began to see with each workshop challenge that organizing can be relaxing and positive in every aspect. Now let's talk about the benefits you'll get by doing your UCO workshop. First, you'll learn simple techniques that are very effective when it comes to organizing yourself at home, work, or even with schoolwork. Your personal organization from this moment will be very different. The second is you will optimize your mental health while your environment is organized, achieving full balance. Remember, mental health is fundamental in every aspect of our lives. Third, you will enjoy the accompaniment of an instructor who's a coach. You'll have daily communication with her and with your classmates. This is something other online academies do not offer. You will have the skills to put into practice with your family, with everyone else who wants to. And we could also mention that the support material you receive is unlike any other. In the information of this Masterclass UCO, you have everything in detail regarding the benefits of doing this amazing, organized cranial universe workshop.